and then what they did during the Reconstruction era with the black codes and just basically recriminalizing people and reproducing a plantation system after, at the end of the Reconstruction era, transitioning that into Jim Crow, which is a series of codified laws to create this caste system. And, so we've talked about what happened in the 60s and 70s, as you guys were talking about, and how it was, I think, Allison said, is it from the bottom up or the top down? It's from the top down. It's absolutely from the top down. It's a system that was created purposefully, and they talked about it. They came up with the white, the Southern strategy when, white people in the South moved into the Republican Party in droves because when they couldn't talk about racism anymore after the Civil Rights Movement, they coded it in language about criminals and crime and the war on crime and the jungle that's out there. And that's when you saw the massive prison population that exploded, especially through the 80s and 90s. So this was purposeful. I just feel like, we've seen a change economically in our system where a lot of agriculture jobs are not being filled, by African Americans in the South necessarily, and we've had industry that's gone overseas, so they don't necessarily view this as a needed workforce either anymore. So I just feel like if you read Michelle Alexander's book and you see what she's talking about a new caste system, I think we have to say that's true. This is a caste system that reproduces all the worst things about Jim Crow. People can't vote, they can't get a job, they can't get a place to live, they can't get assistance, in services. And so, how are people to live? The only option is to be in and out of prison, back in and out of prison, or to be housed in prison for these long times. So I just feel like, what Michelle is saying in that book, and I encourage everybody to read her book, see her speak if you can, is just to read that. Just like I said last night, she points it out very specifically, the incarceration rate, not in any way tied to the crime rate. So there's something else underneath that's going on in our society from the top, where they, for a very specific reason, about racism and about marginalizing a whole group of people, and that's why, we still have the system. So it's a much bigger thing than just, fighting the death penalty and even just reforming the criminal justice system. It's about anti-racism in every level of our society. It's about fighting against attacks on poor people at every level in our society as well.
Sandy, and